Welcome to Timberwolves Talk, number 12. Just kidding. I have no clue what number it is. I'm guessing we're about 8 or 9, but you know, we're gonna keep pushing content out for you guys.
It's been a little rough to say the least through 12 games? Are we 3-9?
Something like that. It's something terrible. But I mean, we wanted to bring a little light. So first of all, if you guys are new to the channel, thanks for watching. We try every 2 or 3 games to do a little Timberwolves talk and just vent, just talk about what's going on with the Timberwolves. And hopefully soon it's not going to be venting anymore.
It's going
to be praising. So just, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for tuning in. But we want to start this off with something a little different. I mean,
a little fun. So what me and Peyton had an idea that since the Timberwolves haven't been playing well, we wanted to come up with an idea for something fun and cool. So what we decided we were going to do is buy each other each a random Timberwolves jersey, and we have them back here. So we're going to do the unboxing right now before we get into the
a little jersey swap, and we wanted to keep it like under $30, just kind of like basically go on YouTube. I mean, go on eBay, find the most random jersey you can, and then just give it to the other person, just random. Because I don't have a Timberwolves jersey. I mean, I'm on a Timberwolves talk show, and I don't really have any Timberwolves merch. So hopefully this can be something I can wear. I mean, and if it's not, then it's something I can laugh about and maybe hang up. And I know Chris is. I don't know if he's going to wear it, if I'm going to be honest, but it's a steal. It's a steal. I found it with the tags, and I don't know who would ever buy it, but I bought it. So I think I'll start out just because.
Okay.
So this is obviously Chris did not wrap this. So it's a random bag.
A little background on Peyton's. He kind of knows his favorite jersey. So I got him his favorite Timberwolves design of jersey ever. And I wanted to do something cool. So I got him a player that represents him in real life. So if you guys don't know, Peyton plays basketball at the collegiate level, and he's kind of a playmaking point guard, I would say. Playmaking, pass first. So I got him that same player in my mind.
I was going to draw comparisons to Kevin Garnett, but all right, so I'm feeling it. All right, we got a black.
Black with the trees.
Black with
Sam Cassell.
Sam Cassell. That's a beauty. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite design right. Look at that.
Look at the trees.
That's clean. Sam Cassell right on the back.
One of the he is probably the reason we did not go to the NBA Finals. He was hurt. So if we would have had Sam Cassell,
the whole Timberwolves dynasty would be different.
Would have been different if we would have had this man right here.
Dude, this is clean.
So Peyton's got his first Timberwolves merch.
First of many, man. And for Chris, this player not only exemplifies Chris as a player, but he really exemplifies Chris as a person. Just the drive and motivation that this player has is ridiculous. And he's just one of the hardest working players I've ever seen. And that's why the fans really fell in love with him, was his hard work, his work ethic. He was kind of like a Jared Vanderbilt type player. He gave it all on defense. He would always sprint back on defense. Even if he'd miss a shot, he'd sprint back. No one ever questioned his work ethic. And so I think this jersey would be perfect for Chris.
All right. Oh, goodness. What do we got? An Andrew Wiggins sleeve jersey. You honestly don't see too many of these nowadays.
No. I don't even know.
People may remember it. These were a thing. LeBron was actually the one who got these removed from the league.
Yeah.
So that's thank you. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to the Wiggins sleeve jersey.
It's something you won't see very often. I'll tell you that.
No, you really won't.
Well, new with the tag, so whoever got it obviously was like, because I mean, people wear jerseys to parties and stuff, and I just
the V-neck design, the quality craftsmanship. I mean, you can't get much better than the Andrew Wiggins swingman jersey.
Fix that. The collar in the back is a little. Dude, that thing's with the V-neck.
The V-neck design.
And so you gotta take off. You gotta go off the screen and take off that white tee to see the deep V. But yeah, obviously I was making jokes about the Wiggins comparison because
he's playing well on Golden State right now.
He is playing well, and he kind of gets joshed a lot for his work ethic. But he honestly was not that bad of a player. He's pretty solid to be honest with you. But oh god, dude, that's hilarious.
So yeah.
No, yeah.
What a jersey swap.
Swap. We gotta hold them up and get that signed. But
yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a little segment we wanted to give to you guys. I think it's pretty entertaining. We got Wiggins and Sam Cassell.
Two of the GOATs.
Two Timberwolves legends in the building. But I guess we can transition to a sadder topic in the loss to the 26 turnover Hawks.
Well, I mean, not even just that. I mean, we can talk about the game that never happened. Was that so is there only one game we have to talk about that we didn't talk about?
Yeah, I think.
Because the game didn't happen, yeah.
Did we talk about Memphis? Well, we didn't. I don't think we talked. No, we didn't talk about that. But yeah, let's talk about that first. The first Memphis game, I think we should have won that game. We were up by 12 in the third.
Without John Morant.
Without John Morant and Jaren Jackson, their two best players. And we choked a 12-point lead due to lackluster offense, turnovers, more so Ricky Rubio turning the ball over a lot, which he's supposed to be the one when he goes in the game that doesn't
turn over ever. It's just a turnover ratio should be out of the roof.
Yeah.
It's probably negative.
But that was just it stinks that I have to say this every game, but I don't think I've ever seen a more disappointing Timberwolves game. By just we were supposed to win standard.
Both of these games we're going to talk about. I mean, honestly, the biggest blessing in disguise is the game not happening, the second Memphis game, because
John Morant was back.
Because that would just be another game where we'd be disappointed. And you know what? I don't like being disappointed, and
no,
the Timberwolves disappoint me a lot.
And the Grizzlies own us for some weird reason. We played them 4 times this year, 2 or 3, this year, but preseason, and they've beat us every single time. There was a lot of good things from that game. Malik Beasley at home is unstoppable.
Home Malik Beasley. I think Larsa Pippen, when he's close to her, he's just a better guy. It's just true love, and it really motivates him to play better. That's honestly my conspiracy there. But Malik Beasley at home averaging 25 points a game. On the road, he's averaging 14. So there's something there because there's no fans. You can't blame it on him like getting hyped up from the home fans. It's not that. You can't blame it on like, oh, he knows the Timberwolves Stadium so well because he's only been here for a year. So I don't know what it is, but he's a different player at home.
But yeah, I really don't get it either. It really makes no sense because a 10-point differential in home away split is pretty incredible. You'll see like 2 or 3 points usually.
Yeah.
But wow, I cannot believe it's a 10. And he didn't help his case in Atlanta either at all. He got hot a little bit at the end of the game, but I don't know. I think Malik is the best player on the team. Well, I mean, besides with Cat being out, him and D'Lo are for sure the best players on the team. And I'm not taking anything away from Malik because he's the reason we're in some of these games is because when he gets hot from behind the line and that's what he does. But I think the biggest story of this team is just turnovers. Turnovers in defense. We can't play defense in the fourth quarter. We always seem to give up crazy runs, and that's where guys like Ricky Rubio should be stepping in and Ed Davis to stop these runs. That's what you need veterans for. But it seems like when we put them in the game, the runs get out of control even more.
Yep.
And that's due to Ed Davis not being able to make a layup, and that's due to Ricky Rubio turning the ball over. And I don't know what it is, but he hasn't made a 3 this year. And he was shooting 38% in Utah and in Phoenix. And he's never been that, even with the Wolves his first time, he's never been that bad of a 3-point shooter. But he just can't seem to find a shot. I don't know if it's just because we have a lot of scorers on our team. But every time I see Ricky Rubio do one of those one-legged floaters from mid-range, it's not going in.
With Rick, I mean,
he's been the biggest disappointment this
season.
Me.
Yeah, when we heard we were getting Ricky Rubio, we were like, oh, this is the perfect fit. That's what we thought was going to be the perfect fit, was that veteran. And I don't know. And Utah, was he a start? Did he start in Utah?
I think he did start in Utah. So, yeah, I think he did.
So the only thing I could really, is it his role on this team? Is it hard for him to come off the bench maybe, and just like, he's always kind of had that. I feel like if he was able to manage the game and he was our guy, if he was our point guard and we didn't have a guy like D'Lo, I think that his confidence would just be, because it's just hard to manage a game when you're not the game manager, you know. So when you're coming off the bench, it's harder to really take control of the game because you're only coming in for short stints. So then it's hard for him to get in the rhythm. It's hard for him to find his shot. I mean, that may be the only thing I can really attribute to his.
And him and I don't know how Ryan doesn't see that we're Ryan Saunders, not enthusiasts, but we get it.
I'm not an enthusiast anymore.
No. We get the position he's in. He's only seen D'Lo and Cat for 5 games, and you know, like we said, every single game I say fire Ryan Saunders after, but that's just because I'm caught up in the emotions. But
just to clear the air, though, all these basshole comments on the Timberwolves post, that's Chris really expressing his mind.
And I leave great comment. I think I leave
great vocabulary too. I love the vocab.
If you guys ever check a Timberwolves post on Instagram after a loss or a win, you'll see Basshole Media write about a paragraph.
Basshole_media. Give us a little follow on Instagram.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Ricky is definitely the biggest disappointment this year. And the thing that haunts me the most is we had exactly what we needed last year in James Johnson at the 4. He's playing really well for Dallas right now, and he played really well for us. Like he's exactly what we want. A hard-nosed veteran who's all about toughness, defense, and three-point shooting. And that's what we want in PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's looking to be like we lost that trade. It honestly is. Like we love Ricky, but James Johnson would have fit into this offense.
Yep,
perfectly.
And then without Ricky, you're giving D'Lo more keys to the offense. Because whenever Ricky and D'Lo get out there,
Jordan McLaughlin would have got a real contract instead of a 2-way to be the actual backup.
Yeah, because first, dude, the commentators love J-Mac.
We love J-Mac too. I think he's great.
Henry, my little brother, calls him Chris Paul. He thinks he looks like Chris Paul somehow. So he's like, oh yeah, it's Chris Paul.
But yeah, it stinks because every time. So on the 2-way contract, you pick and choose what games they can play, and I think they upped it to I don't know the exact amount they upped it to, but it's about half, and you get to pick and choose when they play. But it stinks because J-Mac should have gotten that actual contract, and he should be our back. He's earned the right to be our backup point guard, but Ricky's kind of just clogging the hole right now, and I hope he finds a way to get it together because. It's not his passing is just not how it should be. It's just not Ricky Rubio.
He looks awkward out there.
He looks really awkward every time he comes out, and he's just turning the ball over, and it's a detriment to this team.
It's bad too. Like they're just stupid turnover. Like I don't know.
And I get playing Ricky in the 4th because he's a guy you would love to have on the court, but he's making too many mistakes in the 4th quarter, and he's the. I'm not going to say the only reason we lost to the Grizzlies because there was a lot of things that went into that. But he turned the ball over on key possessions about 4 times.
Yeah,
and that resulted in all 8 points.
Yep, I think Peterson was saying he had 5 minutes, 3 turnovers.
Like you just can't have that in a veteran point.
Well, you can't have that as an NBA player, but then also you're telling me Ricky Rubio is doing that? That just doesn't make any sense because he's one of the smartest players like we have.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is he's running a lot of minutes with Anthony Edwards, but he's really not making Anthony Edwards' job any easier than a normal point guard would do. I mean, we all thought Ricky Rubio was just going to set him up perfectly, get him on some easy back cuts, get him some easy shots, layups, but every time Anthony Edwards touches the ball, he's got to do it himself because no one's setting him. Every single time Anthony Edwards touches the ball and wants to score, he's got to have a high ball screen, and he either has to come off it and shoot the 3 of the mid-range or just drive.
Yep.
Because no one's setting him up.
Yeah, and what Anthony was saying after the last game was that he's getting
whacked.
He is, and I 100% agree with what he's saying. And also, I do understand what other people are saying. When he goes into the paint, he shies away from contact. And when you're as big and as built as him, you got to just go right at that if you want to get the calls. And obviously, he's a rookie. The refs aren't going to give him many breaks, but
he's trying too much finesse. Every single time he shoots one of those layups, I think is the reason he's not getting fouled is because he falls backwards.
Yep.
He doesn't, and he's aggressive. He takes it to the hole in contact, but he's not absorbing as much contact when he's falling backwards on the layups.
Yeah, I'm still on the Anthony Edwards. I think we talked about this last episode. It's so hard right now because of LaMelo. But the thing about LaMelo is like he's not playing. He's had a few good games here and there, but he's not playing amazing every game. Like you just don't hear about it when he scores 11 points and has 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Like that's such an average stat line, and that's not being pushed out. It's only being pushed out when he gets a triple-double. It's only being pushed out when he makes a no-look pass, and that's why everyone is comparing Anthony Edwards to LaMelo Ball.
But that's the thing. It's like comparing LeBron to MJ. They're just two different players.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is a scorer and LaMelo Ball is a playmaker. They're two different players and they do different things. There's a reason why LaMelo gets more assists and rebounds than Anthony Edwards. It's because that's what he's asked to do. He's a 6'8" point guard that passes well. He's supposed to get more assists and he's supposed to get more rebounds too, because that's in this day and age, point guards get rebounds now. Anthony Edwards, he's a pure scorer. So yeah, his assists are probably going to be around 2 or 3 in his rookie season. His rebounds are going to be around 4 or 5. Yeah. That's just what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to score. He's not supposed to worry about assisting. And I'm really proud of Anthony Edwards too, is that he looks like a playmaker now. He's been passing the ball really well.
Yes, his passing has probably been his best attribute so far. And there's nothing flashy. He's not doing no look passes like LaMelo. He's not going to make house highlights, but he just makes a crisp bounce pass here and there. He draws the pressure and just dishes it off. And they might not all be assists. Yesterday, I think he passed it to Ed Davis, who boinged the layup off, and he got fouled. But like that's still a great pass that led to some points off the free throw line. But you might not see that on the stat line.
And we are still on the trust the Gerson Rosas process.
Yep.
But the Ed Davis trade, man, we gave up a 2nd-round pick, Jacob Evans and Amari Spellman for Ed Davis, and there's just not much to say about Ed Davis. Like he's just not there. He's not been rebounding as well as I'd like him to. And the thing that really frustrates me about Ed Davis is he can't make his layups.
No.
Like it's incredible when you see him get the ball in the paint because he just flails around in it. I just never expected to go in at this point.
The socks, man. His socks are terrible. He's got the knee socks on. I mean, you can't expect someone to play well wearing the socks. There's just the swag isn't there. The name Ed Davis is probably the boringest name you could ever have. And he's probably the boringest player you could ever watch.
Yeah, we don't see him in the locker room. We don't know what kind of leadership he provides at this point. But
it's not enough.
Something's not right there, especially when Ed Davis has to be your backup center when Cat's out, and he actually starts games when Cat's out. It's just brutal.
Sight.
It's brutal.
You can't expect wins when Ed Davis is starting.
No, and the thing is the Timberwolves love to run those high ball screens, and then usually the screener rolls out to the 3-point line, but Ed Davis is just a handoff person whenever he comes up to the 3. He's no threat. He's not a great roller. I've noticed he doesn't roll to the basket well.
Overall, he's just not a great player.
But
he is. I mean, he's been in the league. I don't know how. I feel like he's 40. I don't know his actual age.
Yeah.
But if he's managed to stay around, he's doing something right at least. So
he's a good defense. He provides good paint defense.
The role that he has right now, he's not meant to be a starting.
No, and he's doing it. Yeah, I agree.
He's playing way out of his role right now, and that's
it's an issue.
Yeah, and that can all be brought back to Cat. And what I want to touch on with Cat, I saw this in the comment section somewhere that this is probably the best possible time for Cat to get COVID, because you look at it during the season, most players that are going to contract COVID-19 or the 1-9. I don't want to get monetized here, even though we don't make any money on these anyway. But most players are going to get the virus. So right now with his injury, this is the best time for Cat to get that because now he's going to get more time to rest his hand. And when he comes back, he's might not even be wearing a cast because he's going to have so much extra time, downtime, where he's not going to be doing physical activity and he can really rest up that hand or wrist or whatever it is.
Yeah. A bright spot, though, even throughout these losses is I said that D'Lo is going to get back on track, and he's done far beyond that. He's been a superstar that we needed. He's been that 30-point per game scorer in the past 3 games that we've needed. It's just no one is helping him. And the issue, our bench is actually a very good scoring bench. It's like the 3rd in the NBA for scoring. But that Memphis Grizzlies game, I swear to you, D'Lo, Malik, and I forgot, it might have been Cat because Cat played in that Memphis game. They combined for about 78 points, I believe, and our bench did nothing.
Yeah,
that was the reason we lost that game. Our bench, if our bench would have just had a normal performance, we would have won that game by 15 to 20 points. It's little things like that. It's the little things are why we're losing these games. And the Hawks game as well. It's the little things. If you're playing a team that turns the ball over 26 times in a game
and you don't win,
that should be an automatic win.
That's
26 point. Think about if you score on 20 of those on fast breaks, 20 times 2, that's 40 points off turnovers, and we still lost the game. And it's because we also turned the ball over 20 times, and we also didn't play defense. It's as simple as that. Me and Peyton and I said this is the stretch where we're supposed to come back.
We predicted 4 wins here.
This is the easy stretch, and we've only won 1 game out of the easy. We've won against the Spurs. That's the only game we've won, and we come back and play the Magic, I think, tomorrow, and the Magic aren't.
They're terrible. They just lost to the Knicks.
Yeah, they're I think they're the worst shooting team in the league, but it's not going to be easy for us.
Well, nothing's easy for us because we suck right now. We're just it's so hard to be a fan right now because you just go in with these high expectations, and we come on this show and we predict it. We're like, this is it. If everything works out even close to what we're talking about, these should be 4 wins.
It seems like what we do is we take 1 step forward and then 2 steps
back.
Like we figured out the defense in the Memphis game. We played good defense, but then we forgot how to score.
Yep.
And we forgot how to pass.
Yep.
And then this Hawks game, we're supposed to be the offensive team.
Yep. We're supposed to be the team that is all offense, no defense. We forced 26 turnovers and we play terrible on offense.
And then we shoot the ball at 38%. And this is another thing I wanted to touch on too, was Jarrett Culver has lost all of his whatever confidence was there, he lost it. And the preseason, he looked like he was going to be a new player. This season. He looked like Jarrett Culver just dropped 20 points and 10 rebounds and his shots going in. But this regular season for Jarrett Culver has been the same exact Jarrett Culver I saw last year. And it stinks to see because he won't take a 3-pointer anymore because he airballed a couple and he has no confidence in it. He has no confidence in his free throw anymore. It's back to about 40%. He just has no confidence right now. And on the defensive end, he's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't just want to find defensive player and a player who's non-existent on offense. I want a 2-way player, and that's what Jarrett Culver is supposed to be. But he is not. I don't know what his shot is just messed up beyond repair. It seems like I don't know. I'd like to hear your opinions on it.
Yeah, I see. It's tough because first of all, he's a defensive player.
Yeah.
That's what he's meant to be. That's what he's been for our team. And he's playing great defense.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him. He's playing great defense. And defense is something that confidence doesn't really affect. If you're a great defender, no matter how bad you're doing offensively, you're going to be a good defender. And he's played solid.
I noticed a play in the Hawks game where he stole the Trae Young pass and leaked out for a dunk. And I was like, that's awesome. That's what you should be doing.
And it's so hard offensively when you're struggling because you might be wide open for a 3, but if you just airball 2, you're not going to want to shoot it. And he's human. He's an NBA player. So what I take out of the Jared Culver situation is before this year started, I was like, I think he's I thought he was a bust, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen anything from Jared Culver that I can justify why we picked him sixth. But after those first 2 games in the preseason, I was like, all right, I can see it. I can see why we picked this guy number 6 in the draft, and I can see the potential. And now he's gone back down, but at least we've seen it. At least we can see that he is capable of that. And you know what? Maybe it just takes a few games to get his confidence back up, but he is capable of being a solid player. He might not be worth the 6th pick, but at least we can say we've seen it and that he's capable of that. Before the beginning of the season, we hadn't seen that. So that's what I'm trying to bring out of that. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's more so that we traded up to get Jarrett Culver, and we passed on people like you saw DeAndre Hunter when we just played the Hawks. He dropped 26, 10 rebounds, played great defense. Huge guy. Like he's like 6'9", and he's a great player. He's a great wing. He's a great defender, and he can shoot the ball. We passed up also on Dylan Brooks, who's the Memphis guy. He's 6'8". He was killing us in the paint. We couldn't do anything against, or that Kyle Anderson, I think.
Kyle Anderson.
We passed on. He was in that draft too. But yeah, it's just players like that. Like you don't know. No one really pays attention to RJ Hunter and Dylan Brooks, but when they're gone, that's when you notice them.
Yep.
And Jarrett Culver's not that. Like I wouldn't notice Jarrett Culver if he was gone.
No.
Like I hate to say it, but today's game is an offensive game. You can have as many great defenders as you want, but I would take. It's like the football analogy too. The Chiefs defense is so average, but there's a reason the Chiefs are so good, and it's because they're literally unstoppable on the offensive end. And when you have a team like that, Jared Culver doesn't fit into an offensive scheme at the moment.
But when he was playing like he was in the beginning of the year, then he's the perfect fit for our team.
And he's an X factor. If Jared Culver drops 20 and everyone else plays like they're supposed to play, that's a win.
Yeah.
So Jarrett Culver hasn't had any X factor games this year.
Not yet. And I don't know. I still believe in the guy. I do value his defense a lot. And I really, same with Okogie. I mean, Okogie, he's when he's on the floor, it's going to be harder to get offense because he's not the best offensive player, but his defense is so solid that it is worth it to have him on the court. But we just need to have more offensive minded players that might do a little extra on the offensive end to take away from when these other defensive minded players are in the game.
Yeah, and I noticed Okogie does his best basketball when he's just cutting all over the floor, and he's a great inside scorer. That's where he shouldn't live out at 3-point line, but that's where I've kind of seen him. Yeah. That's why I think Anthony Edwards has had this little slump I'm not saying Okogie's been slumping, but they stick them in the corner and then just run them off screens. Like I don't know. I think we need to get more of an inside game going because I don't know. It was so interesting to see Jonas Valanciunas and Clint Capella get whatever they wanted on the inside. So why not try that some games and play inside out ball? And
well, again, we're missing Cat.
That's true. But I think Naz Reid is capable of that.
Yeah, again, so if we have no inside presence, their defense is going to be focused on the perimeter.
And we have no inside presence.
So these perimeter players are just going to, they don't have to worry about inside, so they can be way more focused on the outside. And I think that is why Anthony Edwards is struggling so far.
Yeah.
And he's not struggling. He scored 12 points last game.
He did. He did. He's playing perfectly fine.
He hit a huge 3 yesterday.
Big 3. And that was cool to see, that little run they tried to go on.
Yeah, that was great. That was great basketball. If we would have just done that a little bit earlier, I mean, we were in that game.
Oh, we were.
Well, we were down by 3, I think, and we just gave up an easy layup to Clint. But if we would have just maybe had one play go our way or something, then I think we could have won that game.
The theme of this team is just spiraling out of control. Like we can't go down, otherwise we're out. Besides the one Spurs game that we came back, whenever we go down, it's down for the rest of the game, and they got to find a way to either get ahead first of all, but we blow a lot of leads as well.
We have to figure out Lloyd Pierce, he's the coach of the Hawks. I don't know how long he's been in the league, but I feel like he's a younger coach.
I
feel like he hasn't been in.
But that was Lloyd Pierce is an example of a smart coach. I don't know if anyone noticed
the 3 minute
timeout.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We could talk about Ryan Saunders' decisions all day, but obviously he's been undermanned. But it's stuff like that. Ryan Saunders takes D'Lo out in the first quarter so fast. He takes him out after 5 minutes, and then he expects Malik just to carry the load. And first of all, Malik Beasley plays more minutes than D'Angelo Russell by, I think, 3 or 4, which should not happen because as much as I love Malik, D'Lo is a better player and distributor and leader than Malik Beasley is right now. And when you have your star player not only playing 5 minutes in the first quarter and then playing only like 5 to 7 minutes in the second quarter, you start to wonder what's going on. Then they just overplay him in the third and fourth, and he's just
tired.
He's tired and he's cold because he hasn't been able to get any consistency in the first.
Same shit with a Kogi, man. Like everyone is like, oh, he re-injured his hamstring because why? Yeah, because why else would he be out the whole quarter?
And Saunders just wanted to match his minutes up with Trae Young, but take advantage of Trae Young being out the whole third quarter and leave a Kogi in.
Right. Doesn't make any sense. Like
the Hawks gifted us that game. 26 turnovers, Trae Young in foul trouble.
Trae Young had like 12 points for most of the game. I don't know if he added a few at the end.
He got to like 20, but he legitimately we stopped their only.
He literally looked like he was joking around, dude. He was chucking up shots from half court.
Yes,
he shot 3 from the logo. He made 2 of them, I think. But still, who does Jim Peterson was astounded that he would even take those shots.
Yes. And it's like it's just, I hate to say it, but if you're a team with a struggling star, say Jamal, I'll use Jamal Murray as an example. He's kind of in a slump right now because he has a little elbow issue. I guaranteed you, if we played the Nuggets right now, we'd get him back on track very easily. And that's the same with every single team we've played. We've got their star back on track. Like we're the back on track game, we're the automatic win game.
Yep.
And I think the players have to take that to heart and say, no, we should not be the automatic win team and the team that everyone wants to play. We are. I don't even know. I don't know if we would win if we played the Pistons right now. I don't know.
I don't think we'd win any game right now.
I think we're playing the worst team in the NBA right now.
It's not the worst Timberwolves
team. They're not
watched.
The worst. They talent-wise
are the best Timberwolves team I've seen in a while.
And if Cat doesn't get injured, it could be a whole different story. But this team is for sure a play-in team or a low seed playoff team. It's just, it hurts because
that's why it hurts even more. That's why this is so hard to watch. That's why, because usually you're like, okay, the Timberwolves are terrible.
No, but they're
no talent.
Yes.
But now this year we actually have talent and we're playing terrible. And it's just hard to watch.
It's hard to watch also that we're all getting so excited about this PJ Tucker thing. And we all see these reports every single day of a new thing like, oh, Timberwolves contact again. But nothing's happening. And it's a little frustrating to see like us release Rondé and then we don't
do anything.
We
don't do anything. There's that huge blockbuster trade. Like we don't even do anything. We don't address that need at all. And
it's still it's going to
still
show
an issue.
Vando's great,
but he's not that great.
He's not that great. And they're playing him at the 5, which that's another thing that I've been upset with Ryan is playing Vando at the 5 because he's a strong guy, but he's not he's a true defensive-minded rebounding power forward.
But he's not a starter either. I don't think he's
a come off the bench energy guy.
Yes, and so when you start playing him starter minutes, obviously his energy is going to go down. He can't be diving. He's the guy you put in. Yeah, he comes off the bench and he's that.
He provides a spark, but we need a PJ Tucker to just hold down the fort most of the game.
Yep.
And I don't know if that move will happen.
I don't think it will.
A lot of teams he's the hottest commodity on the market right now besides Maybe there's some Bradley Beal rumors floating. But PJ Tucker is the talk of the market right now. There's a lot of teams that need him. The Celtics are interested. The Lakers are interested. The Clippers are. The Warriors are.
So if he has any say in what team he goes
to, he's not going to the Timberwolves.
No.
So you have to pull off this trade.
You have to.
And so I got this comment the other day that said he's 35. But guys, PJ Tucker, I'm not saying he's LeBron, but he is one of the best old guys that I've ever seen. Like he's 35, but he plays like he's 25. He literally he's played the most games since 2013 out of any player. That includes LeBron. He's been the most durable player I've ever seen. He never gets hurt. He averages the same amount. He does the same thing consistently every year, and it helps the Rockets tremendously.
Well, I think it just attributes to the style of play that he has. He knows how to be smart with his body. He's not going to making these crazy plays. He's
a calculated player. If you leave PJ Tucker open in the corner, he's been the best corner 3-point shooter. I'm not sure if it's in NBA history, but it's really up there. He's been the best corner shooter the past 5 or 6 years. He's gonna hit the corner 3 ball if you leave him open.
Yeah.
And he's gonna play amazing defense to the point guard, to the center. He stopped. I don't know if anyone saw this, but I forgot who the Rockets were playing, but he won the game for him. The other team had an opportunity to make the game-winning shot, and he clamped them up.
Yeah. And
he was a guard. I don't know what more you want. He's one of the best veterans in the league.
Yeah.
And he seems like such a good dude. He's the guy you want on a championship team. He's like the Draymond. He's like the Andre Iguodala. He's that guy that you need on the championship roster.
And honestly, for PJ's sake, I hope. I mean, it'd be better for him to go somewhere else and maybe have a chance to win another championship before it's all said and done.
Yeah, and so this is what's interesting though about PJ is he said he has a contract extension on the table right now, but he's not signing it. So I think he wants to. He's not going to be a Rocket next year.
No.
He said he would either finish out the season with the Rockets or get traded. So why not take advantage of this right now? Give Layman in 2 seconds away. Sign him to the extension and get him for 3 years. And he's the anchor of our team.
Yeah. And that's all we need from him.
And I don't know if there's anything on the inside that prevents us from doing this, but
it's frustrating. And
it really is.
Just looking forward, what's the rest of the schedule looking like? Just to kind of give you guys a little preview before we
So we got the Magic and the Hawks. We got the Hawks again. Not tomorrow. We play the Magic tomorrow, which
if we do not beat the Orlando Magic, I would be okay.
And they're down. They're two of their best players. They're down Markelle Fultz, who's had an incredible start to the season, an incredible end of last season, averaging 20 points and great passer. And I love Markelle Fultz, and he went down with an ACL. Jonathan Isaac, a Defensive Player of the Year winner and candidate every single year, tore his ACL again. Their only threat is Aaron Gordon. But the thing is with the Timberwolves is we always let big men do whatever they want.
Yep.
So we somehow have to contain him. I don't think Cole Anthony should be a huge threat, but Vucevic is going to destroy us in the paint. I think Vuce will probably score around 30 with 15 boards. It's just if you're a big man, you're salivating to play the Timberwolves right now. Especially a big man with the caliber of Nikola Vucevic, because I think he's one of the most underrated bigs in the league. You look what he's doing this year; it's incredible. So I want to say we can win this Magic game, but we can't turn the ball over 20 times.
I'd say if we lose this Magic game, it's gonna be
because then we're 3-10. If you're 3-10,
you can't really crawl, especially with the shortened season this year. I mean,
and we have to play a lot of good teams upcoming.
Yeah, because we're playing all the shitty teams now. So
what's going to happen when we play the good teams?
So we need to put something together.
We have to win against the Hawks. I think if they come out and lose against the Hawks the game after, that's just brutal as well. The Hawks are without Gallinari and without Bogdanovich, they're a fake team. They're a fake contender for a playoff spot this year, in my opinion. I don't think they're anything special whatsoever. I think if you put a Nets or a Bucks team against them in the East, they're getting swept.
Yeah,
just like that.
So this is
where they have to turn it around. If they go from 3-9 to 5-9 in these next 2 games, I have faith.
That's huge.
I have faith. That's
if
huge.
they can put together just a little winning streak, just win 2.
A 3-game streak would be perfect.
Just win 2. Team. Just put 2 wins back to back.
Because that's what they're going to have to do the rest of this first half of the schedule. They're going to have to win 2, lose 1, win 2, lose 1. That's what they have to do. But right now, it's lose 4, win 1.
Yeah, you can't do that. And I know, I get it. We're young, but just once, let's win 2 games.
Let's put together we have not put together a complete game besides the Jazz this entire year. And even the Pistons game was not a great game.
And this is where Ryan's got to step up. I know he's a nice guy. I know he's a friend of the team, but this is where he's got to be like, hey, listen, guys, like,
my job's on the line. Your jobs are on the line.
Like, the comment section, even Chris is calling for some of these guys' heads.
Yeah,
read the damn comments.
I am literally the most forgiving. Me and Peyton are the most forgiving Timberwolves fans, I think, ever.
Yeah, and sometimes after the game, you'll look in the comments and it'll be like,
Layman needs to step up.
Give him out. Like
it's brutal. It's brutal.
So, Ryan, if you're watching this, I know you're not. But if there's a chance you're watching this, you gotta play. You gotta stick it to them. This is it right here. Before the game, like, hey guys, we need to win this game.
We need to win. This is a must win.
This is a must win.
Because if we lose these next 2 games, the season, I think, spirals out of control.
And you might not be hearing the Timberwolves talk anymore because there's nothing to talk about. Because we try to be.
We'll talk about it maybe if they get a top 3 pick next year.
Well, the thing is, we don't have a draft pick.
Well, we have See, we're so bad right now that we might actually get our draft pick.
Really? How?
Because it's top 3 protected.
Oh, so
if we get into the top 3, we get the pick and give them 2 second rounds the next.
Oh, perfect.
So I mean, like,
that
guys,
might be tank for Cade.
See, the thing is too is we have to talk about this for the future. Is if we go through another brutal season, what is in Cat's mind after?
Oh, he's gone. He's got to be gone.
The thing, luckily though, with us is we signed Cat to a 5-year extension, so he's going to be in like year 2 or 3 of his contract if he does want out. So teams will have to pay a king's ransom for a 25-year-old superstar. So
that might be a move that we might actually need to consider because he might not be the answer.
Do you think D'Lo would
see that if you lose Cat? Then...
But that's the thing. I don't think Cat. I think with all that Cat's been through, I think he knows that Minnesota is there for him,
and we have been.
He knows how important he is to this team. I think Cat's gonna stay. I really do. Even if we have a bad season this season, I think he sees how it wasn't a normal season by any means. He broke his wrist. He got COVID.
What else could go wrong for him?
What else could go wrong? I think he gives Minnesota. I think we give him all the support we possibly can. And I think he knows that. I think he is going to be here at least throughout his contract. Yeah. We'll see about free agency. And it's not his fault if he leaves in free agency.
No, and we're not going to hate on him at all.
No.
And I don't know, man. Like we're saying, it's a must-win game.
It's a must-win game for our entire future. Like, so much rides on this game against the Magic within team morale, coaching staff, players, GMs. So much rides on trying to turn the season around. So it's a huge game. This Magic game, circle it tomorrow. Everyone should watch this game because this is the game they know they must win.
And I mean, if this Magic game goes downhill, I think we need to get our guy Darren Doogie on here.
Yeah. So we know you guys loved having him on. We're gonna send him an email right after this and see if he'd want to, come on again and talk about the Wolves at this point. So guys, I mean, thank you again for watching. Thanks for pushing through the season. I mean, we get it. Our success is based on the Timberwolves' success. So if the Timberwolves are sucking, it's hard for people to watch a show about the Timberwolves. Yeah. So just the people that are still continuing to watch it, I mean, we do appreciate that. So subscribe to us if you have not. Follow us on Instagram, Basshole Sports.
Basshole Media, Basshole Outdoors. I mean, we
just had a great podcast actually right before this where we talked with a company named Duluth Pack, and they're some of our best friends in that we've made so far throughout.
So take a look at that. Also, if you've ever spearfished or
we got a banger dropping. I don't know exactly when it's going to. It's very soon. We have a ice spearfishing video. We have our
2K tournament.
2K tournament
that's coming out very soon. So, I mean, just stay tuned to the channel. This is kind of our Super Bowl run right here, where we're going to be putting out a bunch of videos, and this is where we're putting all of our eggs into this little basket right here, and this is going to be big. I think so. I think this is kind of our time to break through. So thank you guys for being a part of it so far, and
let's go Timberwolves.
Let's go T-Wolves. Come on now.